I'm Steelo Free. This is
Dot 420, whatever you want to call me. At the time, you weren't thinking about it as like an AI tool, you know, and how advanced it can be.
we're gonna put in this guy basically, and we're gonna make it seem as if he's really worried about free speech.
I mean, but then again, what is he doing? He just got the Neuralink fucking patch, right? But he's already fucking digging in with it. Like, he's already playing with it.
Imagine having to resist arrest from a robot or run from a robot, bro.
I mean,
that's like running from a car, bro. Check. 1 2 1 2. Welcome to another episode of Outside Minds Podcast, episode 5. I'm Steelo Free. We got
Dot 420,
and we got a guest today. Can you introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about yourself?
My name is Christian. First time on the pod ever, actually.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Pretty excited.
Where's that beautiful European accent from, brother?
I don't even know if it's European at this point, man. I feel like it's a mix of everything. I was born in the middle. I wouldn't even call it Middle East. It's Uzbekistan. It's
okay.
close to Afghanistan. All these beautiful countries out there.
Okay.
Moved to Germany when I was 11.
Okay.
That's where my parents actually lived.
So are you Uzbekistani German? Is that what?
Well, like theoretically, like, you know, I have a German passport.
Okay.
But
that's your home, but your ethnicity is
exactly as
nice.
Uzbekistan. So my whole family, like all my cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody lives out there.
Don't worry, we're not going to talk about the war.
We're not talking about the war. Nope. But yeah, I moved to New York when I was 18 and then moved to LA in 2016.
How do you like New York versus LA?
It's my favorite city in the world, man.
I love New York, bro.
It's my fucking favorite city in the world.
My favorite cities are Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, and London.
It's funny that you say that, especially because I lived in London for like 8 months, and it's the same energy level. As New York.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what I miss the most. Like moving to LA, I feel
even
like
the weather's similar,
exactly,
the buildings are kind of similar.
Yeah. But also like from like a work perspective, you know, it's like everybody's constantly doing shit.
Okay.
It's like there's no like on a Sunday morning, you look outside, no matter where you live in New York, people are fucking busy. They're doing shit. So you feel bad about staying home. You're not doing like anything.
It's not like they're in their sweats going down to get a coffee.
No. Nobody's complaining too much, you know. And my biggest thing, man, like talking about LA and New York, like having lived in both locations, anybody asking me like, hey, what do you feel like is the biggest difference? I feel like meeting new people, making new relationships in LA is super easy, but making more substantial relationships in LA is so much more difficult. I feel like it's easier to meet people and connect with them in LA, but if you connect with somebody in New York, I feel like on the East Coast in general, and
it's a little bit harder to connect in New York, but it's
just, yeah, exactly. You know,
there's more longevity in your relationship as opposed to LA. You meet everybody and probably a handful.
There's no
really
fakeness. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you don't provide anything to anybody out here, they're on to the next.
Yeah, everybody is on a what can you do for me type shit out here. You know what I mean? I think in New York, everyone's kind of more straight to the point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, like I mean, even at the delis, you know, what the fuck do you want? You know, they'll be like straight up, like
no scooping out the fucking bagel, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I love bagels, man. I went all the way to Hollywood to get a bagel from Courage Bagel. Shout out to them.
That's what's up, man.
It was an hour to stand in line, but I don't know, it was worth it. The one thing that was a pleasant surprise, I was gonna say easy on the cream cheese because people fucking way nuts. Too much cream cheese, bro. But I didn't. I just like, let me just get whatever. I just asked for no capers and just however else you guys make it. Let me get it. I got the smoked sliced salmon bagel or whatever, and it was the perfect amount of cream cheese, bro. It was really good. The only thing about it, it was a little expensive, which is fine because they're a pretty popular spot. They gotta make their money. It was like $19.95
plus
tax for a full
bagel.
Yeah. You know, but I'm bougie. If you're gonna go to Hollywood to get some bagels and stand in line for an hour, you gotta go for it. So I went for it. It was good. The only thing about it was that for that price, it just didn't fill me up that much.
I would have been like, give me extra cream cheese. What the fuck? If I'm paying $20, you better throw an extra slab on that
salmon, bro.
It was good though. It was good. So tell us about how we met, bro.
How we met. It's been almost a year now.
Yeah, you work in cannabis, right?
Yeah, I work in cannabis. We have our own brand called Green Habitat.
Shout out to Green Habitat. Fire as hell.
Based in downtown LA, family-owned business.
What'd you think of that shatter?
Oh, it was good. I threw it in the puff coat, burned nice, you know what I mean, and got me stoned.
They got some really good indoor flour for a good price.
Yeah.
They got shatter as well, and they got pre-rolls. If you want to find out about that life, come to Evolve Cannabis.
Yep.
You know
Best dispensary in LA.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I think my assistant, he made an appointment with you to present the brand to you, and then I think I swung by. I think it was actually one of the quickest meetings I've had.
I'm straight to the point, man.
I'm not even joking. Like, I came in, I opened my suitcase. Like, remember that one?
Yeah.
I was like, this is our flower. I think it took like 2 minutes. You're like, give me a pound of gelato. I was like, shit, all right, cool. And ever since, man. Ever since it's been for real.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know. There's a handful of vendors I have like you that I really hit it off with. I don't know what it was, though. I think we just felt each other were good vibes. I think from the what started it was I was like, you were giving me a break on the price, and I was like, is that gonna fuck with your commission? You were like, nah, bro. So it was all good vibes. Yeah. So what do you think about what made you get into the cannabis industry? Because you don't really smoke, do you?
I don't really smoke. I think it was kind of like started as almost like an art project. I got to be honest, because I'm the type. I'm very competitive. So no matter what I do, even if I'm not into freaking bowling, if we start bowling, you probably kind of like, you saw like anything we do fucking golfing, I can't golf, but I'll be a fucking competitive, Yeah. So my homie who started the brand, Adam, shout out to Adam, and Yoni, his brother, he kind of brought me on board with some like marketing advice and all that shit. I have some marketing background, working at L'Oreal and all that stuff, some companies. So
L'Oreal, the shampoo?
Yeah, shampoo,
I didn't even know that
makeup, yeah.
And this guy's an actor, and he does videography.
Yeah. So that was actually my main thing when I moved to LA. I was doing off-Broadway shows. My whole life I've been acting, and in the film industry. Actually, in the film industry, in the acting industry. So I was doing off-Broadway shows in New York, and then saved up money, moved out here, and basically just kind of like focused completely on acting, And then during the pandemic, when everything kind of like shut down, I was like, I can actually spend some more time working with my homies on this cannabis project, And I started liking it a lot because not only is cannabis an industry where it's like obviously cool people and it's so fun to work with them. It's like it's hard to find an industry where it's almost like 80-85% I would say just cool people.
Okay.
And on top of that, I think from my own experience, since I don't really smoke, but I do have a lot of knowledge when it comes to like cultivation and like growing stuff. It's fun to see how you can basically grow something, create something from ground up, and you have a little seed, you plant it, you take care of it, you try out new things, and then all of a sudden you have the final product. And you're like,
especially when it comes to making concentrates out of your flower that you grew. That's a whole nother extension of what you started.
Yeah.
And when you can make great concentrates, like you're doing the right thing, because it's not only about the process of making the concentrates, but it is the flower that you're using. You know what I mean?
It's actually funny that you say that, because I think a lot of times people ask me, why do you like acting so much, And to me personally, I think the most satisfaction in life I get usually is, especially on stage, if I do like a stage performance, and the lights go on and I can see the audience. I read the audience. I can see if I affected them, if kind of like, if the show did something to them.
You might be a good DJ, bro.
Because
I know a lot of DJs they'll be DJing a venue, and they have no awareness of
read the room,
the crowd. The crowd reacting.
Like everywhere you go, you have to read the room and adjust accordingly.
But with that being said, it's the same thing with cannabis. It's like almost like you growing your own baby, and then all of a sudden you give it to a customer, to a friend, and you can see if they like it. And if they like it, you're like, shit, this is like, it makes me happy. So the same thing is like with cannabis, acting, cooking, all this stuff is kind of like.
So you're from Germany. I lived in Germany for a while. I was very, very young though. I don't really remember much. I remember my mom saying, "Say danke, schön,"
That's
to
a
say
good mom.
please and thank you at the grocery store
says.
or whatever to the people that spoke German. But what about the difference between America and Europe? How's that?
Damn, I think saying America and Europe is such a vast, big question, because Europe is so different country to country, you know?
So let's say America and Germany.
America and Germany, I would say personally, no hate to German people. I think, to me personally, I just don't relate to people in Germany in general. Because I feel like I'm not like, the warmest person, overall, but I feel like German people have a difficult time opening up or giving you something to work with. It's almost like
It's just like a high-buy thing, like real business.
It's
like,
straightforward.
But not even exactly. Yeah.
It's straightforward and it's like borderline emotionless, but there is that aggressive emotion, even if they're not aggressive.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that like welcoming side, even if they are welcoming. They could be welcoming, but they don't show it.
Even the language is just like
they sound like they're slobbering all over the place.
You know these videos of like they say like the word butterfly in different languages, like papillon, butterfly, schmetterling. You're like, damn.
I had a homie online and he speaks Dutch. And that just sounds like they're
it
sounds like every word they got like saliva in their
sore throat.
I'm like,
man.
what's wrong with you guys? What is like?
I remember specifically, man, the first time I actually, because growing up I was a big New York Giants, Yankees fan, you know, a Knicks fan, and then I think I went to New York when I was 14, I think, and my dad took me to see the Knicks actually, and right before the game, we went by train, by subway. I was sitting next to this older lady, and she was so dope, dude. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. It's like, if you go to a public space anywhere in Germany, everything is kind of like, you know, like introverted. Everybody's just living for themselves, like, you know, in their own world. But then I go to the subway station, I sit next to this old lady, and she's like, yo, you have a Knicks jersey. Who's your favorite player? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, this guy in front of me at the subway starts talking. So we all have a conversation. Now a 14-year-old kid having a conversation with adults. And I'm like, this is so cool. And then later on, I just felt like everybody is just like that. You can have a conversation with anybody you want. You can just go outside right now, go to 7-Eleven and have a fucking lifelong conversation with.
You can try, you know,
exactly.
But there are those people out there that are that either need to talk to somebody or are just one of those people who like to talk to people. You know, it happens to me all the time at the gas station.
I try not to get offended when I go somewhere, and I try to like make polite conversation with like the cashier, like the waitress, and they're just like hi, bye, like whatever you need. That kind of bugs me a little bit.
That's Germany for you, bro. I'm not even joking.
I've been in customer service for like, I was a bud tender for 4 years before I started doing office work in the shop. But yeah, it kind of bothers me. But let's not shit on Germany all the way.
No, I love that country, man.
Let's talk about some of the good shit they have. I heard like a lot of stuff. Like I hear like salmon is like banned in other countries, or like there's just certain grades of food or things, like vegetables are fresher in places, and even the chocolate's better. You know what I mean? So
that is true. I wouldn't say veggies or fruits are better in Germany, to be honest. I think overall the quality of making sure that something is healthy enough to be sold, or like, you know, clean enough, like, you know, in general, like the restaurant industry is super, super clean. Like you won't be able to find...
Yeah, like the FDA is different.
Exactly, yeah.
Like we can have all these preservatives and all this additive stuff in our food that they can't. Like it has to be fresh from the farm to the grocery stores. Like
oftentimes on Twitter I see too, they're like, man, I was out in, you know, fucking Iceland, or I was out in this country, and I was outside of the USA, and I didn't get a stomachache once, or I didn't get bloated once, or whatever. And it kind of just goes to show you that, you know, the foods, you know, there's more of awareness of trying to keep things healthy and clean outside of where we're at now.
Or sometimes if you eat too much junk food, that can actually get you sick eating healthy for once. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Like your body's not used to that, which is a shock to the body. It's like, what the fuck? You're feeding me good shit.
And not only that, but the evidence is in the percentage of obese people in America, dude. That's a big problem, dude, out here in America.
Yeah.
Because they promote get the super size, you know. Get the extra large, you know what I mean.
It's all about money here, bro. It's capitalism.
It's only 42 cents more for like this double
the
size. You know what I mean? It's like, are you
Kool-Aid.
really gonna drink a fucking 42-ounce drink? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Plus, you have all these refills at restaurants that are kind of like, you know, like you just pay once and then.
Well, they said McDonald's is taking away the the machines from outside. Yeah. So well, that was announced like a month or two ago. I don't know if they're thinking about it or whatever, because
that's crazy though.
That's a price cut. You know what I mean? You're gonna save money on everybody who's just going to fill up their own cups or whatever they're doing. You know.
I like those shits though. I mean, especially Wendy's. They got fucking the best machines, man. Dude, bro, like I don't drink soda too much, but if I go freaking have fast food, I want to have a big freaking selection, you know?
What about that Sprite from McDonald's, bro?
That's just my God.
No. You gotta get from Del Taco. They have these little, it's Sprite with these little gel balls. It's almost like boba. But,
I was gonna say it's like boba.
It's like boba, soda boba, but candy boba.
Yeah.
Like when they
don't even tell me about that.
When they explode, they taste like just like berry. Yeah. Like it's fucking fire. Yeah, it's in a Sprite.
Oh, did you see they're doing boba at Jack in the Box now?
Are they
strange? Yeah, they have boba at Jack in the Box now.
Really?
Yeah, they do. I saw it on the sign.
Fun fact, man, I never had Jack in the Box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not really missing out on much, bro.
I had everything else, but I don't know why.
I mean, I don't eat McDonald's. I'd rather go to Jack in the Box. I haven't had McDonald's in such a long time. Maybe like a coffee from there. That's not bad. But I
was once arrested at Taco Bell in New York.
What? In transition. I mean, in New York at Taco Bell, you got to be doing something pretty ratchet to get arrested.
Yeah. No, that was like this. I'm not sure if you know, like in New York, a lot of times there's like one entrance for two separate businesses. And it was like, I think like 4 a.m. and the bakery was open. But next to the bakery, inside the same building, there was a Taco Bell. So we were like, oh shit, I want a Taco Bell, you know? Take a cab, I think at like 4 a.m. Like I said, get there, like shit, doors open, we walk in, and it's just the bakery part that's open. And Taco Bell part is fucking closed. Oh, and my homies are like, fuck, we drove like, 20 minutes right now. And then one of my friends just jumps over the counter. And I see, what are you doing? He just turns on the oven, starts freaking like flipping his own shit. No. We're all kind of drunk, like I started doing the same shit, Everybody's like, even the guy who was working.
I think they did that shit in Basketball Diaries, dude. Have you seen that movie?
Really?
Yeah, they like broke into like an ice cream shop or something, trying to make their own shit.
So basically, that's what happened. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, the cops pulled up. Even then, they were fucking laughing, man.
Yeah, they let you go or what?
Yeah.
Oh, they arrested you.
Yeah,
obviously.
They arrested us and then kind of like let us out again.
Yeah. Like, So growing up in Germany, this is Outside Minds podcast. So we like to talk about, like the paranormal and things like that, cryptid and stuff like that. So what's like the folklore out over there? You know what I mean? Like growing up, like, like we have Bigfoot out here. We have like werewolf and stuff like that. And I know they have like some pretty crazy like folklore out there. Like
they do, man.
I asked you in the group chat, have you ever seen any gnomes? I wasn't really serious, but I kind of was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't seen any gnomes. I think the craziest thing I've seen was actually, I think I mentioned it to you guys. I've never actually believed in ghosts. Like, obviously as a kid, you're like, shit, I'm afraid to go down to the basement,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of my homies at that time, Patrick, actually just spoke to him going down here. He still lives in Germany, and he was studying demonology, which is kind of crazy. Like he would like basically study what the Bible and like the evil
ancient real demons that
Egyptian
have
stuff,
stories behind them.
Yes.
Yeah, it was funny because a lot of hardcore Christian people, they like try to denounce magic and all this and that, and the Bible's full of fucking magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I was just about to say, yeah.
So you had a paranormal experience with Patrick?
Yeah. So we went to a casino in the city of Dortmund. It's not too far away where I was living, and the way the casino is located is basically on top of this huge mountain basically, and nothing else is on this mountain but just like forest area. So you're just driving up this mountain to hit the casino, and when you're driving back the same way, you don't hear or see anything on the way down or up. And then going down, Patrick is like, oh dude, somewhere close around here on this mountain, there's supposed to be a building, like a wooden cabin, like 20 or 30 or 50 years ago or something like that. Some shit happened down there. Do you want to stop by and check it out? I was like, fuck no.
I would have been like, hell yeah, let's go.
I was like,
have you ever been with us to the Vanderlip house?
Yeah.
We used to go up there.
Yeah.
There's this house out in PV where like supposedly there's like a guy that like killed his whole family or something.
You have to go through a gated community. So we would just park on the side and wait for someone who lived there to pull in, and then just pull in right behind them.
It's like a little rite of passage for us. Like it's in this area. Like if you've never been to the Vanderlip house, so you got to go like one time.
I heard of it. I just never been.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to that story. So he was like, pull up over here, and there was like a little entrance into the forest area. So I stopped, and he was like, yo, there's like some shit went down. Like,
let me stop you real quick.
Yeah.
I lived on base in Germany, and I remember like
It's Wiesbaden.
The forest is different out there. Like it's a fucking forest.
Yeah.
You know
it's not just. It's almost like, you know, like if you think of Yosemite, that's just like Yosemite inside of the city, basically.
Yeah.
Like parts where it's like if you walk in, you can actually get lost completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not just like a little Central Park area. You know.
And I feel like in those places, that's maybe it has to do with something like being outside the city and being away from like all the technology and stuff or something like that. But a lot of these people speculate that these kind of beings or ghosts or cryptids or whatever are interdimensional, and maybe, you know, it's something about being in nature or being out away from the city that might, you know, make you see them or
Probably.
have a higher chance of seeing
Yeah,
them. You know what I mean? Which is
mean,
probably why they see like Bigfoot, Dogman, Werewolf, and like very rural areas, Skinwalker Ranch and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my point was like when you go into the woods in Germany, like that shit's like real crazy. You know?
It is, especially that experience, because I was actually about to drive inside this little entrance, and then he basically told me like, yeah, I read it in one of my some documents that he had like about like cases where it's like, you know, paranormal stuff was happening, you know, and he said that during a honeymoon weekend in this wooden cabin, the wife basically, she was schizophrenic and her husband didn't know that, and she basically killed him in his sleep and then killed herself. And then when the people from the government came in, basically like, you know, they were trying to kind of like, you know, tear this whole building apart, but every time they would get there, something would happen, like rainstorms or like, you know, like flooding, blah. So they just gave up on it. And he basically told me like, if you go down there, you can even Google it. It's like literally on Google. Even the car back then. When,
do you know the name of it?
We could find it. Like I could actually Google it and find it.
What's the name of the town?
Dortmund Casino Ghost House. Basically Google that stuff.
Oh shit.
And he basically told me they even left the car. They just took the dead bodies basically and left the car even standing there. So I was like,
did you guys see the car?
So I didn't even drive in. I was like, fuck that, man. Like, so I just left. I didn't even fucking go. So after this incident, basically we start driving home. It's like an hour drive. And you guys heard of the Autobahn, right?
Yeah.
So we exit the Autobahn and we're completely talking about something else. It's me driving, Patrick sitting next to me, and Thomas, a third friend of mine, he was sitting in the back. We're basically exiting the Autobahn, and all the streets are empty in Germany. It's like around like 2 a.m. Nobody's outside. And I'm driving off the freeway, Autobahn, and then we're talking, and all of a sudden I just glance over and I see a woman standing in front of me. And I just like turn the car and we're like spinning, like in the middle of the street. Like we stop, and I'm like in shock, like in full on fucking panic. I'm like,
wait,
shit.
You saw another car spinning out?
No, it was me spinning, basically, like, because I stopped.
He was trying to dodge the woman.
I was trying to dodge the woman, But then
damn.
I stopped and I'm looking around. I don't see the woman. So in my head, I'm like, shit, I just killed a person, you know? But I didn't hear anything. And then I look over at Patrick, and he's like, go outside, check. So in that moment, I didn't even...
So you guys all seen it?
That's the thing. I didn't even ask him, did you see what I saw? I just looked over, and he was like, go outside and check. So I walked outside and I checked. I was like, bro, nothing is here. So I'm like shivering. I'm not even moving. I'm like sitting
And
in
this
the car.
is away from the mountain or the town or whatever.
Yes. So I'm like, tell me one thing. What did you see, Thomas, in the back? He goes like, there was a woman in a white dress.
Damn.
Bro, I'm like, no fucking way. No fucking way. And then Patrick, the demonologist, explained, it makes sense, man. We were standing there for quite a few like minutes, you know, like by the entrance to this house.
Maybe you guys like picked up that energy.
Exactly.
Like
so
that.
Sometimes those energies, like you said, those like, you know, souls.
It's because you were scared.
Probably, man.
And they're like, I'm gonna come attack this guy.
Yeah.
Were you guys faded at all? Or were you guys drinking or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, because I was reading that when you're like drinking or you're on drugs, you're more susceptible to experience that with, you know, lower dimensional demons or entities or whatever. But do you think maybe you guys were more susceptible to that experience because your homie was studying demonology at the time?
I don't know what it was, man. I was just like, I was creeped out because it felt like, you know, like sometimes you see something, you're like, maybe I haven't seen it. But if somebody else tells you, like, without you asking, like, yo, did you just see this woman? You're like, wait a second, you just saw this woman as well? You as well? He's like, yeah, white dress. And she kind of like, it was standing there. I was like, yeah.
Damn.
And then Patrick basically explained, he said basically because we were standing at this entrance, there's a high possibility she had, bless you, bro, she attached herself to our car and basically like moved on with us.
Wow.
And then he also said two things like I keep thinking about how you can actually tell if there's a demonic energy around you. Like sometimes when you're basically sitting at home, especially in LA, it's not really cold, but sometimes like if you're sitting at home, you're watching TV and you're like just getting like goosebumps on your hand or something, like all of a sudden it feels like cold, even though your AC is not on, it means something energy wise is changing. And the second thing he said, if you smell some sort of
sulfur?
like sulfur,
yeah,
that's bad. You know, there's a bad fucking
that's
energy.
another point into why people think like Bigfoot is kind of interdimensional, because a lot of people who say Bigfoot, they always note that it fucking smells. He smells and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What do you think about that video from the train of Bigfoot?
Oh, where people were filming him like he was like eating like an animal or some shit?
He was just standing there and then he squatted and stuff, but they're just on a train filming.
I don't know, because
I don't believe it, but I just like,
every Bigfoot video is all grainy and fucked up. But recently,
well, this one isn't grainy because it's new. You know what I mean? But it's like supposedly it's in the middle of nowhere and whatever. But it's just like that can easily be staged. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure.
Anything. I know anything in this world is possible with movie magic, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
You know when the train is leaving. You know where it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? You could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at this coordinates at this time. Make sure you're standing right there. Yeah. I'm gonna be, film right here." So that I look at it from all perspectives.
Have you seen how that old school Bigfoot footage from back in the day was all shaky? They use like video editing software to make the frames like
straight.
Yeah.
Still.
What do you think of that, bro?
I haven't seen it.
Do you believe in a Yeti or Bigfoot?
I believe there are creatures out there that we have yet to be able to capture, because one, there's probably not many of them. Mm-hmm. The less there are, the harder it is to find them, right? And then two, they're probably smart. They probably know how to. They've probably been here longer than us. Who knows? And they know how to avoid us.
That's true.
They probably have, just like the government, secret tunnels and shit.
But I mean, if we were being honest, I mean, it's like a lot of people don't know it, but it's like, especially talking about the Amazon forest, like it's like I think it's 80% still not even remotely, completely undiscovered.
Well, there's whole fucking tribes and cultures that have, like, if they seen a cell phone, they'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Like, you guys are aliens, like us, we're aliens to them. It's crazy. Like, there's people that they don't know what the outside world is. So there's
I wonder what the pros and cons are to those people. Like, like they were saying, like when whoever came here, Christopher Columbus or whoever, when they started coming over here, the Indians started getting sick.
Yeah, because they brought new germs from a different place. I mean that's how it works. I mean, I think now a place like that, sure, because it's so secluded.
Maybe like immune systems are stronger and shit like that. You know what I mean? They got to survive in the jungle. They probably eat certain fruits and veggies that are probably just better for them.
You need like germs to survive.
Absolutely.
And we were born with no clothes. Back in the days we were in the jungles. So it's kind of natural in a way. So, but obviously, I think with like the way hospitals and doctors work nowadays, they could probably use some of that technology. What I mean? Like, so their bones might not heal proper or whatever. I mean, I'm sure they have techniques that make it good. I'm sure they're not stupid. You know what I mean? But it's technology wise. That's the only downfall, I think. Of that part of living.
To bring it back around to Bigfoot, another interesting fact is shout out to Tinfoil Hat. But when I was listening to one of their episodes, there was a guest that I guess they live in Texas somewhere. You probably might have heard this one or something, but they were saying that there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings in the woods, like behind their fence or whatever. And they were saying that the closer they tried to get to the fence, like they would hear a voice in their head, like saying, like, "Oh, don't come over here." Like you couldn't even make it all the way over there. Like that's trippy as fuck, bro. Like imagine if there's like another entity just talking to you in your head. Like
or Bigfoot could be an entity. That's why you can't see him. You know what I mean?
Like
it's interdimensional. Like that's what I believe aliens are. So it could be in the same realm of just being able to not run away into the forest, but kind of just disappear into the forest.
What do you guys think about talking about aliens? I heard this guy talk about how we all think that aliens come from outer space.
I don't.
What if it's actually from inside the oceans, because we don't even know anything about the fucking oceans.
I believe they're just interdimensional. I believe they come from a different dimension, because when a UFO supposedly takes off, it disappears, right? It doesn't fly. You would, just like an airplane, you would see it fly out of the atmosphere, right? This disappears. And there's supposedly hotspots, right, for UFOs, portals. That's what they call them. They're portal spots in certain mountains in China and in fucking Russia. And so I think they're just portals. I think they're interdimensional.
Well, also, the more you learn about metaphysics and spirituality, it's all about like frequency, and our brains are receivers and radio receivers. So I also think that I've heard someone talk about this too, that maybe instead of planets being like a more physical thing, they're like planes of frequency. And if you can change your frequency and the way your consciousness is what am I trying to say? The way the frequency is absorbed, or like at a certain frequency, at a certain wavelength and tuned in, like they probably travel like that. And another idea is Merkaba mysticism, which is basically you use meditation to take yourself to different what's that say, like dimensions and things like that, through frequency manipulation. And what they say sometimes is that what a Merkaba is basically like a spaceship for your soul, or for your consciousness to travel through different dimensions. Really? And that could basically be what the aliens are doing. Like they probably don't even have physical spaceships.
Well, that's like when I do DMT. That's literally the experience. Is you travel through space and time.
Yeah.
Because you're there, but your body's passed out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Your physical self is not there, but you are there, whoever you are.
And that proves that you're your consciousness as opposed to being your body.
Yeah, you're just inside your body.
Yeah.
Whoever you are. And like there are entities when you go to these places, and every time you break through, it's a different place. So who knows if you're going to different realms or different, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But there's always entities there, like, and they don't mess with you. They just let you know they're there.
Damn, that's crazy. Have you ever done any psychedelics?
I have not really. No.
No. I think you've done tell me about your Vegas story again, bro. You have a very interesting Vegas story.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. It was actually I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Yeah. I'm not someone who takes, like, I don't drink, I don't like take drugs, because I feel like I had like bad experiences when I was younger, like, growing up in like, not so nice neighborhoods. I would always get into trouble, like, so I kind of learned to not do all this stuff, just to be in full control of your own body, I feel like.
Yeah.
It kind of stayed with me my whole life, and I'm just having more fun being sober, I guess, But going to Vegas, one of like my whole group from work, like they like to party. Let's say that, And in Vegas, we're all used to them doing all types of drugs, and I'm the only guy who's not doing it, but I'm still included. Everybody's okay with it.
Yeah.
So me going to Vegas, bro, I was expecting the same situation. One of my best buddies' birthdays, and we're all sitting at a table. They take out a couple of drugs, and he's basically telling me like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "What do you want?" For my birthday, can you just do something with us?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Fuck no, man, get out of here, man. I'm not gonna do this shit." He's like, "No, it's fine. I just wanted to ask." And they all sit down, and nobody does anything.
Because they feel bad because you're gonna one like not doing anything.
They just had a fucking strategy to make me feel bad because I'm messing up the birthday. It's like, what's going on? They're like, well, yeah, if you're not doing it, nobody's doing it.
But they have acid?
No, I think it was just
Molly
and Coke. Yeah. And
at least they didn't drug you like without your consent. Like, it's a fucking
because there's people that will do that.
Yeah,
and that's no.
That's bad friends. Who shouldn't do this shit. But yeah, basically, long story short, so we're sitting there. I'm like, yo, so you guys not doing anything? It's like, no, we're just gonna be chilling, just like you. I'm like, bro, it's your birthday. I know you want to have fun. He's like, I'm having fun. So I start feeling bad.
Trip.
So I'm like, fuck, I'm destroying this fucking guy's birthday in Vegas. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, man. Let me do something. Like, I don't even know what it is. Just give me some. He goes like, just give me something. Like, okay, Christian, what do you want? Do you want
this
or this? Yeah, I'm like,
give me both.
I'm like, I'm not doing cocaine. Cocaine is bad, man. Like, I'm doing Molly. And nobody's saying this. So I popped the Molly, and they're like, you're so stupid.
Pop the Molly. I'm sweating.
He started getting all tweaked out. Like, oh,
no,
here's
the thing, though. Here's the thing. Everybody else also took Molly. You know, nobody was doing anything else. And I think like 30 or 40 minutes in, everybody was, they call it rolling, right? Mm-hmm. But I was not feeling anything. I'm just sitting there.
We've been down that road a few times. They're like, not gonna lie, sorry, mom.
You got a dud, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody's like having fun. And I'm curious, you know? It's like, why am I not feeling anything?
The crazy thing about that is when you've never done it before, you kind of almost don't know what to expect.
Well, you're anticipating something.
Yes, exactly.
You're anticipating something you've never felt before.
And you kind of get nervous.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're about to feel, and then that takes over and you're like, wait.
And then the thing is, in my head, I'm like, maybe because everybody was just accept it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm just chilling. I'm like, maybe I am high.
I am high. Yeah. And that's my thought process.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not high.
Exactly.
You know.
But then we went to the Marquee and the Cosmo, and I notice I'm not high. I'm like completely normal because they keep telling me like, hey, like, do you feel this? They touch my hand. They like spin your head. I'm like, bro, I feel stupid for doing this. I don't feel anything right now. Leave me alone. So we leave the Marquee. So after like, I'm not even joking, like 3 hours after I took the pill, we leave the Marquee. We're sitting grabbing some food, and one of the guys was like, do you actually don't feel anything? I was like, no, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. He was like, well, I know you're big. Maybe you need to pop a second one.
I was going to say, you're a pretty big guy, too. So probably might take a while to hit you.
So when he said that, I took it as, take a second one.
Yeah.
So I took a second one, and he's like, what did you just do, man? I'm like, what do you mean? You just told me to take a second. He goes like, bro, I'm high. You shouldn't be listening to me. So now I'm tripping. I'm like, wait, am I going to die now? Because I took like 2. You know, I'm like, Adam, like, what am I supposed to do? He goes like, you took a second one, you fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Should I throw up? He goes like, no, it's already in your blood system, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So maybe I'll start feeling something at least.
And it's fucked up when the guys who do it all the time are telling you, well, yo, you took too much, bro.
Yeah. So I started feeling a little queasy, you know? And then we, I think it was around like now, probably like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. They wanted to go to a strip club. And I remember vividly, bro. We were like walking down the Cosmo, right by the receptionist, the lobby, exactly, yeah. And I see this girl come inside the lobby wearing a red dress. And I'm like, oh shit, she's good looking. And she sees me and she literally starts crossing the lobby to approach me, you know? And I stop and my homies kind of like continue walking. And she walks over with a smile. And I remember her like kind of like leaning over to whisper something in my ear. I don't even remember what she said. I just remember smelling her perfume. And it was like a firework sensation from my toes into my brain.
Oh my God.
And then I just remember feeling something. And then next thing I know, she was gone.
And you're just...
And then I was kind of like moving my head left to right, looking for my friends and everything. So I kind of like, you know, swimming.
Waving.
I'm like, yo, all right, cool. I guess.
It's crazy how your senses have a different effect on you when you're on stuff like that.
That's
like
insane.
you said, like you smell something. Like people like when they're at raves will fucking just put Vicks on their shit. You know what I mean? And just like it gives them rolls and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Same. It's almost like the same sensation happened to me because when we. I started walking. The funny fact was like I started like walking towards my friends, and it felt like I'm not touching the ground. So I'm like,
wow,
I am going crazy right now. So I'm not used. The guy who's like the biggest control freak can't control his own fucking body right now. So I'm like, I'm going upstairs, guys. And he's like, no, you gotta come with me. I'm like, no, dude, like leave me the fuck alone. I'm going upstairs right now. You guys can do your own thing. Adam went upstairs with me, and I just kind of like panicked a little bit. I'm like, am I like? Can you overdose on this shit? He's like, bro, you're fine. If you're overdose, you feel different. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, just lay down and I'll turn some music on for you. And for the first time, bro,
what kind of music did you turn on?
We're big into camping, hiking. Like I'm big into like hip hop. That's how I grew up with like music, you know. But I do have a different preference of music when I go outside, like hiking, mountaineering, and all that shit. You know, it's like banjo music, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So you turn on the band Camp. Shout out to Camp. And there's a song called shit, I forgot, Voyage, I think, some shit like that, you know, and
you can feel every instrument or what?
Feel like on your skin, you could feel the music, you could almost like taste the music,
and
man.
it's almost like the lyrics are a little different, because they hit different, right? Like, because you're in a different mindset, right? So like the lyrics, you can resonate with them in different ways, so it's almost like a different song. And that's
I'm gonna hold my thought, but I got a story about that.
That's how it used to be, like back in 2008 when we were doing,
that's exactly what I was gonna talk about,
bro. Well, we used to do ecstasy, you know, like before the pure MDMA was out, whatever. And like, I remember just listening to Lil Wayne and being like, this is a whole different song. I know this song, vibe, but what the fuck? These lyrics are not what he used to say.
It's like you learned a new language,
and it's like it's being so out of your mind that you tuned into another frequency of the song. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you're feeling the lyrics on a different level.
Like they have a whole new meaning to the point where you're hearing it different.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And then I remember they were just kind of like acting like kids, almost like, you know, re-experiencing their first trip. Like, you know, like I remember one of the guys opened the door and he was just yelling like, "Girls, I have a guy who took Molly for the first time." And they walked inside, bro, there was like no sexual tension. It was just like, do you smell my perfume? Do you feel this? Touch my hair. This, I was like, yo,
they're like
this
living
is
their first trip again, like vicariously.
Exactly. It was fucking funny. That was a cool experience, though. Yeah.
So you've never done it again after that?
No, this one time, yeah.
So would you say that was a good experience for you, though?
Definitely. But I would also say, I think I always hear about, like, you know, especially like if you do drugs for the first time, you should surround yourself with the right people. And I was definitely with the right people. Because I feel like if I would have been with the wrong people, you know, it might have been a horror show.
Watch Have a Good Trip. On Netflix. Watch that, and it's about, they interview famous people like actors, Ben Stiller and like A$AP Rocky, like musicians, actors, and it's all, they tell you their stories about their first trip and their weirdest trip, their best trip, their wildest trip. But it's really informative, like if you've never done a psychedelic, like or even if you have, like it lets you know how to do it the right way. So for your next trip or for someone's first trip,
should watch that,
and it's very good, but it's also just entertaining because you know the people who are being interviewed, and and you, like, some people would never think this person, Sarah Silverman, you know what I'm saying? Like she did acid and walked down the street with random fucking bums and shit. Like like there's dope stories, like, you know, there's crazy stories, there's funny stories, and it'll tell you how to be in the right setting, because we've all been through, you know, the people who've done it for 10 years plus, we've been through every situation. So
it's crazy.
You know,
one time I was super high and I was just walking around Wilmington or whatever, and just like the weirdest shit would happen to us, like when we're just on another level. Like one of the stories, one time we were just walking down the street and then we just saw just some random person walking their iguana. What? I'm like, this boy has an iguana on a leash, bro. Like, I would never see this if I was sober. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't pay attention.
To take it back to the first time I was rolling, I got 4 free pills from a very good friend of mine. You know what I mean? They're blue Buddhas, you know. But it was 2008, 2009 or something like that. And then he was like, you know, you never done it here. You know, here's 4 free ones. You know, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, but anyways, the cool thing about where I grew up at, Wilmington, Carson area, is that everyone knew each other. And in my friend group, it wasn't just like the same 4 or 5 friends. It would be like, oh, this homie, this. It's just, we're all a friend group, but sometimes we're like assembled different.
Well,
you know
there's a bunch of small circles, but then within those small circles, we have other circles that are, you know, connected and shit.
Yeah, so I wasn't always going out with the same group every night, but I was with my homie Javi, my homie Grinch, and I think it was either my homie Isaac or my homie James. I can't really remember, but we went to this party on the east side, and we used to just walk through Wilmington to parties and shit. And if you know about Wilmington, like, you know, like, it's gotten a little rougher since then, but it's definitely not the place to be walking around as a teenager. But we knew the street so much that we felt comfortable or whatever. So we went to a party, popped the pill for the first time, and then we walked all the way across to the west side to another party and shit. And as soon as I walked in the party, I hear the song, what's it called? it's a Rihanna song. Please don't stop the music. And as soon as I heard that, bro, it was weird because there was 4 of us and we all went our separate ways. We were all we were all rolling and shit. We all went our separate ways. And I think we all split up that night. Like I ended up going to like a different party. I ended up seeing my other friends and shit. I ended up like in some party in Carson. And that was cool about partying like in our hood and shit because it's like, you know, because you know so many other people from different groups everywhere. It's like even when I didn't drive, I was able to find rides to different places or parties when I needed
One time I was rolling so hard that we must have been at a party in Carson or Wilmington or whatever, but I blacked out, right? And like when I came to my senses, I'm in the back of Shot's car, like in between two.
Shout out to DJ Shot.
I'm in the back sitting bitch, right? In the middle of 2 girls with someone. And then I'm trying to figure out, where am I coming from and where are we going?
Oh damn!
Right, and I'm just like, oh shit!
What did you take?
Fuck?
So were you blacked out, like they had to carry you, or you just blacked out to where you were coherent and you were just going in and out?
Yeah, okay. No, damn. I was having a blast as far as I know. I just was mentally. I just came to realization of reality and I was like, where the fuck did I just come from? Like, I'm sure I was right there. Hey, you know, talking to people, having a blast and shit. But I just probably took like 4 or 5 ecstasy pills, you know, at the time. And, you know, at those times, you know, we had a lot.
It might be a blessing that we did drugs earlier in our youth because I feel like we got it out of our system. Like, there's a lot of people that, you know, did it like, you know, mid-20s, a little bit later in life, and it's a little bit harder for them to, you know, break an addiction or it's a little easier for them to spiral because they've never had it before, so they're gonna go crazy. Whereas like, you know, when we're kids, like we went crazy, but at the same time it's like we live with our parents and shit, so it's like how crazy can you really get? But not only that, but we got it out when we were younger, so it's like nowadays it's like, man, been there, done that, you know.
If someone offered me ecstasy, I'd be like,
I'm good.
You don't know about 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, nah, I'm sorry. Like,
you ever had a bad experience off a pill, bro?
No, but I've had psychedelic experiences. Like, and this was before I got into mushrooms and acid and DMT. Like, but I didn't know what a real psychedelic experience was, so I didn't have that realization until years later, where I'm like, oh shit, that's how I felt when I took those pills, you know, in 2009 or 10 or whatever it was. But yeah, I've been like, quote unquote, out of my mind. Like, to where I'm in another dimension, 100%, to where, like, the cartoons were kind of doing different shit, funny shit, you know.
Well, because the thing with those pills back then, bro, is what Molly is, I think, basically, technically, what we referred to in our groups was that Molly was basically pure MDMA, maybe a little bit of stuff, and then the pills were, like, cut with
a bunch of
whatever it
meth
is
and fucking straight up. But not as much as nowadays. Now they're just all meth.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
How can you, like, my question is always like, obviously you might have a dealer, right? And that person probably doesn't even fucking create this shit himself, right?
Well, no,
how can you tell if you're actually buying clean or like good, non-dangerous product?
We were getting them, I'm not gonna say names, obviously, but we used to get them from the college chemists.
Okay.
So they'd be making.
Well, not only that, but instead of being smart and like having test kits and shit like that, we were just going off of the way people were reacting to them. Yeah. Like back in our day, it's like
the old school way. You sell them and then they bring back feedback.
Yeah, most of the Buddhas were pretty good. If you had a Buddha, it was good. What you didn't want to have is something pink, like the pink Playboys. Like you didn't want to take those.
Or like a yellow flower, bro. Like none of them worked. Like they were fake. Like
and people would get sick, bro. And it's sad because I had a homie who just never left that phase of just wanting to get high or whatever. I'm not even gonna say his name or whatever. But
no names.
But I remember one time I asked him, bro, I was like, bro, like, when's the last weekend that you didn't roll? And he couldn't tell me, bro. And that was one of the things that made me try to make him realize, bro, like, you're not going on a right path, you know what I mean? And he's like, bless his heart, man. All I can do is pray for him, but he's out in the streets now, bro. Like, I see him around and shit.
I had someone trade me a cell phone for 2 pills.
What?
A cell phone. That's how bad it was, like,
crazy.
back then.
Damn.
You can also like
I'll take the cell phone though.
Is it true you can get stuck Like somebody told me, like if your brain is not fully developed and you're taking like psychedelics or something.
Well,
something
that's
like that.
if you have a pre-mental like psychosis issue, like if you're on like if you're almost what is it? What's that fucking illness where you can just
schizophrenic?
If you're if you're like borderline schizophrenic, if it runs in your family,
it'll like kick it up.
You don't have to be schizophrenic, but if it runs in your family, it could trigger it.
And then you get just stuck in this.
Well, you can become schizophrenic. And you can like, and people even get stuck in a weed psychosis depending on their
I had a weed psychosis in this fucking room right here, bro.
Really?
Yeah. The first time, because I smoked weed from 16 to 32, like probably almost every day, bro. There's probably like a few weekends here or there. Maybe I didn't have it. Maybe I was on vacation with my parents or whatever. But this was 4/20, 2022. My dumbass quits weed for 47 days, decides, hey, it's 4/20, I'm gonna fucking blaze a sick bong rip and shit, bro. Like, and not even like take it easy, not even like just small hit, bro. Like a brimmer.
That was this year?
That was last year,
Last year.
4/20. And fucking like, I was like, oh shit. I started to feel how I felt like the first time I smoked, and it just kept going up and up and up. And I remember telling my homegirl who was with me at the time, I was like, I'm fucking tripping out. I went into my living room and I lay down on the carpet, and she's like, what are you doing? Like, let's go upstairs, let's watch Batman. This is right when Batman came out. And I'm like, nah, like I need to chill and shit. And then like, I just remember not even being coherent, questioning what is reality, and then being in this weird space and shit, and then like coming to and from reality. It was almost like I was on like a psychedelic trip that I couldn't control, and it was fucked up, bro. Like my sister had to like calm me down and shit. I think at one point, I don't even like talking about this because I think I tried to lunge at my sister or something like that, and she was like trying to hold me down and shit, and fucking like I'm making a mess of the kitchen. Like there's things I don't even remember. They're telling me I'm like hopping on top of the stove and shit, and fucking knocking glasses over and shit. It was fucked up.
Did you do anything else besides weed?
No, just weed that day, bro. Wow. Yeah, and they had to call the ambulance for me. I went to the ambulance. Luckily, they never sent me an ambulance bill, but I think that was because I was trying to resist going with the paramedics.
Bro. Do you know what weed it was?
It was Marathon OG by Cure Company.
Because that could be an aspect.
I was just about to say.
You know what I mean? It could be something that was in that weed.
Like maybe they sprayed Eagle 20
They sprayed something,
it wasn't
like
cured
or
right
wasn't cured right or something.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too.
Not talking trash about the brands.
No,
but that's usually what happens.
No, Care Company has some fire. Yeah,
I've taken breaks and smoked again, and I've felt that anxiety. They were telling me I had a panic attack, and the way I was breathing too, I was like hyperventilating.
I was gonna mention that too, because that happens to people, whether you're a regular smoker or not. You can be in a mental state like subconsciously, and you know this shit will trigger it, and you'll just
it's
start
called
tripping.
Depersonalization. I studied it. I looked it up and shit, and it's like when you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
And there's what made me think of that is when you said weed psychosis, and that's just a real thing, man. Yeah, and you don't 100%. Really. Sometimes you smoke so much that you become almost immune to it. Like you smoke to feel regular, and that's how I was prior to that break. So coming back to it, I was kind of just like, man, you know,
and
take a fat bong rip.
You're trying to smoke some fire.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Trying to have a good time.
Good thing you didn't take a dab.
Yeah, seriously, bro. So ever since then, when I take a break and I smoke again, I'm super, super careful about my dosage.
Take it easy.
Like
yeah, you have to.
Well, I don't know. You don't smoke. I don't know. Do you ever like?
I smoke weed. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So what we want to do is start a podcast and pop an edible each, and then just start talking, and then see where it goes as it hits us.
I think the last time I did an edible was actually on a trip to Canada.
Oh, okay.
And it was. I think I fell asleep, man.
Yeah.
It was just so relaxing.
Was it on the plane?
No, actually, I think we went to a bar and we took edibles. I think it was chocolate.
Because I love taking edibles right before the plane, so you can just knock out. And
I take edibles and a Xanax.
Really?
Before the plane. That's the perfect thing.
Yeah.
And even if I don't sleep, I'm just relaxed.
You know what I mean?
I'll bring edibles on the...
Next thing you know, we see Todd on a fucking video. That motherfucker is not real.
Hell no. I will be too lazy to get up, dog. I bring edibles on the plane. Whatever it is, just throw it in a Ziploc bag and it's just snacks in a bag. Literally, they're not gonna fucking test a gummy worm.
You see that video on Twitter, the guy who's on the plane and he just subconsciously like lights a cigarette and shit?
Yeah. He's just like,
and the guy behind him's just
I forgot him on a plane.
Like, you can tell the guy behind him too is just like looking at him, waiting for someone else to notice, and then he rings the thing for the flight attendant to come, like dry stitching and shit.
Instead of fucking saying like, you know, like, yo, dude, what are you doing? You gotta call somebody. Let me call somebody, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Ended up on a no-fly list, I'm sure.
I ate an edible when I left from your house last week, right? That was a week from today. My neighbor gave it to me, and fuck, I just remember waking up, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. That shit must have knocked me out, because I tasted the THC in it, but it wasn't like the nasty taste. It wasn't like dirty oil taste. It was like, okay, they really put some good weed in this taste. You know what I mean?
The thing I like about some companies like 710 Labs, they have like the rosin gummies, and they're doing what they can to make sure the flavor of the weed goes with whatever flavor gummy they have.
I got to test those before they dropped them, because I was ordering from them once a week or once every 2 weeks through their online service. And one of our deals was, hey, order this package and you get to get one free gummy to try out. And so I had the rosin gummies, and they're pretty good. I mean, I have a really high tolerance when it comes to THC, and like, you know, rosin gummies, I would have to eat that whole pack, because it's still only 100 milligrams, right? For the whole pack, I believe. Jesus. And 100 milligrams to me is like a regular day. Like, I listen to other people on podcasts like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. They're talking about taking.
I took a half a gummy.
I took 5 milligrams. I took 10 milligrams. I'm like, 5 and 10 milligrams. Like, I literally would not feel that.
I
like,
brush my teeth with that.
What is that?
I have, just for that, to that point, I have a newfound appreciation for people that say that, just because of that experience that happened to me, bro.
Well, they're not regular smokers.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Where like they might smoke here and there, which they do, but like, it's just funny, like, just to hear that those such low numbers. Because I worked at the shop and we were drinking 200 milligram Mary Jane fucking lemonades, getting fucked up. You know what I mean? But still drinking 200 milligrams.
I actually have 1,000 milligram Black Bar from
Corova.
That they don't have it on the market anymore, but they gave it to me.
They're not allowed to sell it, right?
Yeah, it's the 100 milligram cap, but they were like, man, we made these for old time's sake, so try one. It was one of the Corova reps gave it to me. So shout out Corova, man.
Yeah, we used to.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but fuck it.
Yeah, we used to get those and split them. Either those or the 500s, but I used to love the raspberry brownie, bro. Those are the fire Corovas. Okay. The raspberry brownie, I think they're either 500 milligram or 250. I don't know, either way, but...
I remember the first time I seen an edible was in Amsterdam. Went to one of these coffee shops. I think it was like my 4th time going to an official coffee shop. We were all sitting there in this like a lounge, basically. And it's, I think it's 5 of us, and then this dude that we didn't know that was already sitting there. And he was like asleep, you know? And I think it's almost kind of like a restaurant situation. He's like, raising his hand. They get there, charge him, and they bring him like an edible, like some shit. He ate it, and then he's like chilling, sleeping. And at some point, bro, he was wearing one of those like gray sweatpants. Like sitting, I'm like, bro, somebody must have stepped in shit. And so I look over, and he's like shaking like this, and I just see fucking like diarrhea going down his leg. I'm like, bruh. His whole leg is full of shit, man. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
How do you wake up out of a sleep shitting like just like the person on the plane?
Man. How do you go home, man? Imagine like I need to call an Uber. But I smell like doo-doo.
I sharted at the bar one time, bro.
That shit happens. Sharding is different than fucking diarrhea.
It was one of those days, bro, where I ran out of drawers, so I had board shorts on, bro. So what I did, bro, was I cleaned myself up. I took the board shorts off in the bathroom, and I just chunked them in the toilet. I mean, in the little wastebasket or whatever. And I was just commando for the rest of the night, bro. But hey, bro, take me home, man.
That was the sign. We had enough.
I do have a butter maker at home, like a all-in-one. You just throw everything in there and it makes it itself.
Really?
It's called a magical butter maker.
Cool.
But yeah,
how effective is that?
It's really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it comes with little box to decarb your weed in the oven, and then it has a little temperature reader, and then
to actually make it break down and be psychoactive when you eat it, basically.
Yes, well, yeah, exactly. And the bigger the chunks, the better. You know, you don't want it broken down. And then when you put it in the machine, you just throw the nugs in there. You throw either butter, oil, whatever fucking thing you want to make.
Yeah.
You just throw it in there, and then you throw in the medicine or whatever, powder, whatever the fuck it's called. And you just close it and press the button, and it does all the work itself. Damn. It's all in one machine.
Weed is interesting, man. They got everything.
And then you strain it.
How long does it take to get it finished?
An hour. Yeah, maybe a little bit less, but about an hour. And then you strain it, and obviously you have to put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes with it, like, you know, the butter slice, the butter things.
It's pretty cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had a good pod, man. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug? Do you have any new strains coming out? Is there anything you want to promote or anything like that?
I mean, promoting myself, I'm not the biggest fan of promoting myself. I feel like if something is good enough, it's going to promote itself. We do have a couple of new things in the making right now at Green Habitat. We have a little rebrand actually coming, new packaging, a couple of new strains coming up as well.
Nice.
Working on maybe maybe introducing live rosin as well at this point, because everybody loves.
I will be buying that because I already smoke on your product all the time. You know,
no need to be buying.
I will be consuming that product.
I will be consuming.
For sure.
So we got that happening soon. I probably like a soft relaunch in early February. New packaging and everything. Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the pod, man. Shout out Christian. Shout out Green Habitat. If you guys made it this far, thanks for listening. Once again, we're Outside Minds. I'm Steelo Free. This is
Dot 420.
And we out.
We out.